Here's a great idea for a very simple, easy, inexpensive Christmas starter. And we're going to do a butternut squash soup with onion, a little bit of cream and a hint of chilli. And if you like coriander, you can even put a wee bit of coriander in at the very end. The ingredients, very straightforward. Butternut squash, which costs £1 today from the supermarket. Onions, Spanish onions, quite straightforward. A little bit of chopped red chilli to finish the soup off. We'll probably put about a teaspoon of that in. Salt and pepper, vegetable stock, and to finish it we can put some fresh coriander if you wish. So we're going to prepare the butternut squash. The easiest way to do with those, just take the end off the squash like so, and the other end here, so you've got a flat edge, and then either cut it in half lengthways like that, or just through the centre. I like to cut it through the centre, like that. And all we need to do is then put it flat and cut off the edge of the squash, like so. Just going around. Use a fairly large knife to get all the skin of the squash off. Some people were asking me at the cook school not long ago, you know, how do you get the skin off? People think you can peel it, and you can't. You do need to use a knife, but you need to create this flat edge so it's not rolling around the board. That's how you get cut fingers. So you can see here, it's got that lovely flat edge, very, very sturdy. Your fingers are behind the back of the butternut squash, and you're cutting away from yourself. So if your knife slips, it's cutting away, and your fingers are well and truly safe. What you do then, just cut the squash. If there's any seeds inside, just take a wee knife, take them out like that. And the next bit's really easy. We're just making a soup, so we can just chop it up fairly coarsely. Leave those. Always make sure your board is nice and clean. You can see that we're not working rubbish. That always goes to one side. And cut the squash into fairly chunky pieces, like so, and then just into a nice, fairly even sized, roughly cut dice, and that's ready for the soup. And a bit of roughly chopped onion, so we don't need finely chopped, into 4, through like that, and there's your roughly chopped onion. Don't forget, nice sharp knives please. Wee bit of practice and chopping is made easy. The secret, of course, is a sharp knife. And there's your onion. We're going to start the soup. A wee bit of butter, which we've melted in the pan, about 2 ounces. You can see that. And we're just going to add the squash, which we've pre-cut. That goes in like so. Then the onion. Take the board to the pan and just slide it in. And the heat's on low. You can hear it sizzling. And we're just going to sweat that off for about 15 minutes without any colour at all. With the lid on, and that's the start of the butternut squash soup. So the soup has been sweating off. That's the squash and the onion with a pinch of salt and pepper for about 15 minutes. Once it's sweated off, that means cooking without any colour at all. We now add the vegetable stock. So we've got 1 litre of vegetable stock. I like to use bouillon cubes for this. I think the bouillon cubes work very, very well on this soup. And all we need to do is just add the stock to the vegetables, bring it up to a simmer, and we're going to cook that again for a further 15 minutes, and then that's ready for blending. We sweated off the onions and the butternut squash and the wee bit of butter, added a bit of salt and pepper, and we sweat it off. That means almost like stewing its own juices without any colour at all. And we're going to add a vegetable stock cube. That's 1 litres worth of stock cube. That goes in there like so. We're going to bring that to another simmer, retaste it, make sure it's seasoned properly, and let that cook for another 15 minutes or so. And that's almost ready. You can see the soup here, it's cooked. The lovely butternut squash and onions are cooked through. It smells absolutely gorgeous. And we're just going to blend that now with a stick blender. Wee bit of cream, bit of coriander and chilli, and that's the soup ready. Just going to have a wee taste before we blend it, to make sure it's seasoned properly. Very important. Tastes absolutely delicious. It's gorgeous. What a simple soup. We'll take that over here, and with a stick blender, a wee bit of noise, I'm going to turn it into a nice smooth soup. And there's the soup ready. Take your stick blender out. Should be a lovely consistency, and let's have a look at this consistency. There we go. Lovely and smooth. If you want, you could put it through a strainer. I don't think it's necessary. And to serve this soup, really, really simple. Nice bowl. This is a lovely, lovely starter. And this is one of my favourite all-time soups, butternut squash. I just got back from France recently, and even the French have got to like it. And they call it le butternut. So there we go. Wee bit of cream in there, a little bit of chilli, just sprinkled on top like so. Nice fresh leaf of coriander on the soup, and there we have it. Your lovely butternut squash soup with cream, coriander, and a hint of chilli.